That's right.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Good morning and happy Easter, everybody. Our opening thought for this morning: listen to what the Spirit is saying in so many ways throughout your life. The flinger of your imagination, a hint there is something new for you to try. The advice of old friends and family showing you a different path to follow. The experiences at home or work, clear signals of changes that are coming. We do not always receive a holy message as ancient prophets may once have done, clear voices speaking from heaven, but rather our answers are coded into life itself, woven into the pattern of our being, signs for those who will take a second look, a returning thought, a recurring idea, a lesson to be learned if we are mindful enough of the Spirit to see the letter written without writing.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this beautiful, beautiful Easter morning. We ask that you participate in our service here by joining us in the call to worship in your program. We walked the valleys and saw the people crying in need of Jesus's, and Jesus reached out to them. He did not criticize or diminish their needs. He touched their lives, and they were never the same again. The love that flowed through him to them was God's healing love. We sat at the table in the upper room as Jesus told of his death, and we wanted to discuss and discount his words. How could he? We did not want to believe it. It was easier to proclaim with bravado our faith that to listen to his words was our call. We waited in the Garden of Sorrows while he prayed and watched in horror as he was betrayed with a kiss. We followed at a distance and denied, with Peter, ever knowing who he was. We were with the crowd that claimed Barabbas' release and turned our backs as Pilate washed his hand of the crime. We followed him to the hill and cringed as they nailed him to the cross. We heard his words of forgiveness and love from the cross and felt the ground tremble as the sky darkened and he gave up his life into the Almighty's hands. We ran from the empty tomb today with the incredible news that he is risen. He was not captured by death, but in time is risen from the dead, just as he said he would. We came with the joy in our hearts to this day. As the flowers in our worship area burst with color, so we burst with the absolute joyous news. And isn't that wonderful? Isn't that exactly why we're here today? So please join us with our opening hymn. It's in your bulletin. Christ the Lord is risen today. Please stand.
sounded beautiful, even with those high notes this early in the morning. So before you are seated, I would ask that you would turn to one another and say, good morning and God bless you and happy Easter.
Good morning. Once again, welcome. Our first reading this morning is a contemporary reading by Bishop Stephen Charleston. Every day I know there is something I can do to help, something great or small, showing up, being counted, attending the meeting, making a contribution, saying my prayers, something I can do, something that will make a difference, great or small, volunteering, offering to drive, passing on the information, telling my elected leaders how I feel